Future Champions Weekend coming up at Newmarket. It's all live on Racing TV. We are going to start with the Oh Sharp Stakes. The trip is 7 furlongs. The grade is Group 3. 10 are declared to go to post. These are Sky Bet prices. Cathedral's 3-1. Flight is 9-2. It's 9-2 Magical Trail. First Instinct is 6-1. Miss Fascinator is in there at 13-2. It's 7's Ecstatic. Mandura 9s. 14's Merrily. Troja 16s. And Nana is a 33-1 shot. The ground at the moment, they're saying, is going to be, it's good to soft in place. It might just be on the easy side, so not too bad at all. We're going to start by having a look at the Godolphin filly. She's by Blue Point. She's Magical Trail. She'll come from stall 1 on Friday. Charlie Apple's got his horses in good form, Rachel. This is her winning her second race here at Kempton, and on this occasion she dropped back to 6 furlongs, but speed was no problem.
Yeah, and especially carrying a penalty. She beat Jetty's Run, who is a Ralph Beckett debutant, who actually put her to the sword for a fair bit of the contest. It was only the last half furlong or so when William Buick got a little bit more vigorous and just went, come on, we can pull this out a little bit. And I think her 7 furlong stamina from her debut run showed through, and that's good considering we're going back to 7 furlongs. And the top 3 were the right 3, and they were well clear, and I loved how strong she was hitting that line. So she has tactical speed. She has experience, well, on the July course, and she's coming here for the 3rd run. And I like how she was a lot smoother through a race at Kempton when she was a bit green in places at Newmarket. So she's mentally improved, and she'll only step up and improve again come Friday.
Yeah, Martin, she saw the 7 out fine, didn't she, at Newmarket on debut? So the trip's going to be no problem. No,
and when you're looking at these races at Newmarket back end, it's a big plus if you performed on the track before, and she won on the July course. Obviously, it's not like the Rowley Mile, but it's not far off, and that was 7 furlongs, dropped back to 6. We just seen at Kempton. William made use of her, and she travelled well and just had to be shaken up to quicken and win. And really smart looking filly. She's well put together. She's just well balanced. I don't think there's any weakness in her at all. She's ready made. My only question mark is if the ground is pretty soft. Because she won on good ground at Newmarket, and then obviously on the all-weather we've just seen, and she does kind of stride out well. But I mean, the forecast, I think they say good on the easy side at the moment. It could be anything, couldn't it? It could be soft, it could be. Yeah. But that's the only question mark, but it's a very slight one. I think she's pretty smart. I think her main asset, Rachel, is speed, because I mean she's by Blue Point. I mean she wasn't overly zestful at Kempton, but she wanted to get on with it a little bit, didn't she?
And she's got the ability to go out and sort of settle in front, which
it's quick,
which could be very advantageous when you bring in horses like your favourite Cathedral, who have literally run once in an unraced 2-year-old maiden at Lingfield, to your likes of your Miss Fascinators, who are having their 7th, 8th start on Friday. So she's got the speed, and she definitely has the stamina kicking out of that dip. The last furlong, I mean, she should have the turbos on it. I'm surprised she's 3rd favourite, given the colours she's wearing, the trainer, the jockey, the form of everything, and considering she's coming in undefeated.
Yeah, that was a fast time win last time at Kempton Park. Let's have a look at First Instinct. I think she's sort of a different model, really. She's bred to stay. There's lots of stamina on the downside of her pedigree. Come to you, Martin, to chat about First Instinct. She's won her 2 starts at Nottingham, but success there didn't look likely till very close home over 6 furlongs. And here she wins at Haydock on her 2nd start. Yeah, it's this was similar to her first race at Nottingham. She had to wait for a gap. As you've said, she's bred to one a bit further and won 7 furlongs, and she's overcoming adversity to win her races, and really likeable, great attitude. You see here, she just had to wait for the gap to open. The 2nd horse has got first run on her in the red colours, and she just showed a real bit of determination to get back up and win. And you think if she had an extra furlong in front of her, we'll see the head on here, and you'll just see where she's just had to wait. Couldn't quite get, Tom O'Connor couldn't quite get her into top gear, and he's had to wait and almost let the horse in the red colours go before him. He's just had to sit there, you see, and just had to wait. The horse in red has quickened and got a length on him. She's done really well to overcome what happened in that race. She didn't shirk it. She showed a great attitude. She's obviously got a bit of class, and there's more to come over a bit further. Yeah, Rachel, it was interesting after the race. I mean, it looked to us watching it, and I think I was working that day, it looked as if she's crying out for 7 furlongs, and she'll certainly stay 7 furlongs.
Oh, gosh.
Tom Marquand was interviewed afterwards, and he said, "No, she's got loads of speed." He was adamant she's got loads of speed.
Well, she obviously does have loads of speed, considering she made up a deficit in about 10 strides, more or less. But I mean, she's by bated breath. But the Dam Proportional was a Juddmonte winner who won the Boussac back a decade or so ago for Dermot Weld, and then went on to stay a bit stronger than that. So I think 7, particularly at a Newmarket, will be fine. I mean, the only question with her is, will she handle the dip?
Yeah.
Because she's not ever dipped before, but she's had experience at Nottingham, which is a little bit of undulation. So
There's a few ridges at Nottingham, aren't there?
It's ridgy. She looks well
there's
balanced.
no like proper down, but no, she looks well built insofar as she should handle it. But that's the nice thing about if you watch horses going down at Newmarket. That's almost more important than seeing them so much in the flesh, although now is the good time, particularly the fillies, to see if they're starting to go in their coats as fall is happening. Is if they can't handle the dip in a hack canter going down to the start, they are not handling it at full speed coming back up.
Martin, do we make too much of the dip?
Not really.
We go on about it a lot, and pundits go on about it all the time. Do we make too much of it?
No, it's a nightmare. I've been beaten on horses that didn't handle a dip, and you never know till you've tried it. And if you've tried it and they've coped well with it, it gives you a lot more confidence going back there. But do you remember years ago, Kieran Fallon said in the paper they should fill in the dip?
Just level it off.
Yeah, he meant it as well, because it's a nightmare. I've gone into the dip going well, and then the horse loses its action, and then you lose 2 or 3 lengths and get beat a length. So, you know, it's important that horses are well balanced, and if a horse is run well at Newmarket, it makes a big difference. Some horses don't like it, and it depends on the pace of the race. You mentioned Tom Marquand said that filly's got speed. You do need a bit of speed to win an oh so sharp. I'm pretty sure you don't get 1.5 mile horses winning the oh so sharp. You need a horse that can travel and find a turn of foot. So that will stand her in good stead, I think, this filly. And she's won on good to firm and soft, so she seems to go on any ground. But yeah, in answer to your question, the dip can be a nightmare.
And has the dip got something to do with front runners or prominent racers being suited to the Rowley Mile? Because they can just get going in their own time, whereas others from behind are trying to chase and catch up. And
I always found it's about comfort zone. So if I was in front, riding winners in front on the Rowley Mile, if you steady up and then you get to the dip and you kick going down the dip, and you get your momentum up, when you start coming out of the dip and accelerating, the horses 2nd, 3rd, 4th rank, they're going down the dip too fast.
Yeah, they're trying to get you.
And then they have to come out, so they come out of the comfort zone. So, and when I was in behind in 3rd, 4th, 5th position, Richard Hughes has walked to the dip and kicks away. You know what's coming, and you're like, oh, what a nightmare. And you're having to ask your horse to accelerate going down the dip, and they can lose it. So that's probably a bit too technical.
No, it's not.
Probably talking nonsense.
But I've never ridden any dip, to be honest. Right. Let's talk about Miss Fascinator, and well, we're talking about handling the track. Rachel, she's fine at Newmarket. She's won here. Yeah,
she's won at the July course, and she's run well at the
Rowley Mile.
So she's fine. And
this is Salisbury last time.
This is the Dick Pool, where she finished 2nd behind a horse that we're going to talk about in about an hour and a half, who's running in the Cheveley Park. So form, you could say, is good. This horse is the most experienced one by far, and here she was a bit unlucky. She had to switch out and then stayed on quite strong. I like that one of her wins is over 7, and right there she sort of screamed to me that she is up against a horse that Connections thought was a Group 1 filly to begin with, in a Group 2 or Group 3, and she was staying on, having to switch out, whereas the winner had clear run. And I think that's I think she's got very solid form. She's not that sexy in the betting, basically, because she's totally and utterly exposed compared to some, but she's solid. And I think unless something properly takes another step forward, which the horses with 1 and 2 starts definitely can, her solidity might help in there. I mean, if you were going to have a place pot, she'd be one you'd just automatically put in the place pot and go, I'm pretty solid. She'll finish probably 3rd.
I'd say 3rd at best. Exposed and consistent, but likely to be found out, Martin?
I don't think she has the potential to have as much class as some of them, but she's had 8 runs. She's run at Newmarket 4 times. Yeah. That was her career best in a Dick Pool, as we've just seen. Tough as old boots. She really knows how to get in a fight and fight for you. So I think she's pretty much guaranteed to run a place in the first 4. She's so honest, and that was, as I say, that was such a good performance. She goes on any ground, and just running 4 times at Newmarket, she's won there. That will stand her in good stead. So she's a pretty good yardstick. Whether she's got the potential of Tabiti, who, by the way, she won the Dick Pool and on ground she hated, and some of the other horses like Magical Trail and First Instinct, they just look like they got that little bit more class about them. But Miss Fascinator, she won't go down without a fight. Very quick word on Cathedral. She's favourite with Sky Bet at the moment, about 3-1, on the back of just 1 run, slowish time win at Lingfield. She quickened up really well. She showed a sharp turn of foot. She's a bit short, though, isn't she, at 3-1? Well, she's a bit short for a race at this level, but she did win nearly 5 lengths. She did. That's not easy to do, but, you know, I watched a horse of Richard Hughes do the same thing, and she ran in a listed race next time and didn't get anywhere near them. Yep. So you need a crystal ball. Is it the momentum behind the Rafe Beckett horses, do you think, and that's why she's... I mean, Ammo's in the news a lot, given that, you know, he's reaching... also, this horse's dams, the half to blue stocking, cost the most in the field, 800,000 guineas. Breeze Up, there obviously must have been a lot of noise behind a Breeze Up horse going to a newcomer's race. Remember, this horse has never raced against horses with experience, but was sent off one to do and did it in the style of a horse that a bit like Detain did a month and a half ago, and we're sitting here and go, that's going to be a black type horse. And then, but the problem is, these horses we know probably are. This one could completely and utterly explode. Yeah, she's going Lingfield all weather, 6 furlongs to Newmarket group race. Yep. Too short a price to get involved. Agreed. That's the point. Yeah. What's going to win? Magical Trail looks the solid for me. I think Magical Trail. Going to have a look at the 3 o'clock, the Challenge Stakes. This is a Group 2. It's over 7 furlongs. There's 11 declared, and we've got Sky Bet prices for you. Noble Dynasty, a bit of a Newmarket specialist. He's 9-4. Royal Scotsman's 9-2. It's 11-2 Witness Stand. Top Gear 13-2. 15-2 Quino. Great Generation is 9-1. It's 11-10 Bob Tony. Should have been a ring. 12-1 Jumbie 20s. 20s Pogo. Vetiver is 25-1. Let's start, Martin, with Noble Dynasty. As I said, he is a bit of a Newmarket specialist. We can have a look at him winning here a couple of starts ago. He bombed out in the Lennox last time. He ran poorly there, but this track seems to suit him. Yeah, back at his favourite track, and he's just a lovely horse. He's solid. He's worked his way through the handicap ranks, and he's just kept on improving and improving. He's beaten Nostrum here this day. Nostrum probably hasn't been, or hasn't kind of materialised to be as good as we thought, has he, Nostrum? But you just love this horse, the way he's picked up and the way he goes about his business. And you can more or less set your clock by him. He goes on any ground. 7 furlongs at Newmarket is ideal. So you can see why he's favourite. I think we've got to forgive him his run in the Lennox Stakes. He just fluffed the start, didn't he? He never got out on terms. He got detached. Never seemed to handle Goodwood at all. So maybe he's just not a fan of Goodwood. But back to his favoured Newmarket, he's got to have a big chance. Yeah, he won a handicap on the Rowley Mile as well, Rachel, so he's fine on that track. Yeah, exactly, and he does tend to have a prominent run style, so he should be able to sit up. I assume Royal Scotsman, the change in run style, well, actually, if you look back at his really good 2-year-old form, he was a blitz off in front, but his run at Epsom last time when he just made all the running and just out-blitzed everybody. If he does the same, he also has Pogo to contend with. Whether or not Pogo's fast enough now than he used to be, albeit he is a winner of this race in the past, but Noble Dynasty might just be able to have the perfect, just sit in the second rank and then kick up the hill. Yeah, Quino might be involved in that pace scenario as well. So there could be a fair bit of pace on. Let's talk about Royal Scotsman in a bit more detail. That was the Diamond Stakes that Rachel referred to that he won. We'll have a look at it. I thought he was sensational this day. The winning time was really good. One of the best times at the meeting. If he gets his own way out in the Rowley Mile, if he rolls along like this, he's going to be very hard to peg back. Yeah, well, he's a good horse in his own right. And don't forget, he was 3rd in the Guineas to Chaldean last year. And he has had his problems. He pulls too hard. And this was Jamie Spencer at his best. I mean, Jamie's always labelled as a hold-up jockey, but equally, he's great from the front, because when he got to the front here in a Diomed, this is Derby Day, the horse relaxed and pricked his ears, and he's conserved so much energy, and he's let him quicken down the hill. He's got an advantage on the runners and quickened away and won as he likes. He might well get taken on for the lead here in this race, but Jamie's drawn 11 on the wing. The stalls are up the middle, so I wonder whether Jamie will do something slightly off-piste. He might just go to his right on his own to that far rail, and hopefully he might have a word with Marco Gianni and say, don't follow me on Quinault stall 10.
Stay away.
Pogo is drawn over in 1, and Noble Dynasty's drawn 9. So my only concern with Royal Scotsman is he hasn't ran since Derby Day.
Yep.
He can be keen if he comes here very fresh and does too much. You'll know your fate after the first furlong. But with Jamie Spencer in the saddle, who knows? He's a good horse. If he settles well enough the first half of the race, he might be hard to catch from the front, as we've spoken about. Front runner at Newmarket, kicked down that dip. Yeah,
Jamie would have got a good feel of him there. I mean, he's ridden him before that as well, but that was him at the top of his game. Back to 7, I like as well. No problem, don't you think?
No, not at all. I mean, mile and a 16th to 7, but this is a slightly well, Epsom. Most of that is, you know, you're coming down and around, but. No, it's nice that actually Jamie got to sit on him when he was actually on song, because he's a horse that has been proper high-end, like almost classic winning potential. I mean, literally 2 1/4 lengths classic winning potential. Yeah. That it was like, there he is. Because, I mean, I know he missed a chunk of time last season. Into this season, to come back in the lock-hinge is a hard ask. And, I mean, you could tell he actually ran well for a long way and then just blew up. So it was nice that now Jamie has a feel of him when he's right, although there is, why has he been off for 5 months? Because this is not the sort of race that you go, yes, we're aiming for this race. This is more of a race that is appropriate for the horse at the time.
He's just not easy to train, is he? He must be.
Yeah, there must be a reason for him not to have run. But if things go right for him, as we've said, and drop him back to 7, and the ground could be a bit slower, could be right up his street.
That's fine, because it was heavy ground when he was 30 guineas. I mean,
it's all about getting the horse to relax and conserving energy. And Jamie did a great job at Epsom, and I think they've learned, don't get into a fight with him. Don't fight with him. Let him use his stride, and if he gets left alone, wouldn't be a shock if Jamie just goes right hand down over that far rail on his own, or does something like that to get away from the rest of the pack.
Yeah, if he was the only speed in this race, I'd be all over him, to be honest. I really would, but just worried that he might get taken on. Let's talk about another one. We'll go to Witness Stand now, who's trained by Tom Clover. And he's had a really good season, this horse, Rachel. He's getting better. Very
progressive, up into winning listed race. Last time out at Newbury was second in one of the big field handicaps, a big field 3-year-old handicap at Goodwood during the August bank holiday meeting. I mean, this horse does go through from strength to strength, and really game when headed, likes to kick back if he can. He gets beat by Querart here, which is no bad feat. And this is an interesting quandary coming to here, because he is very much a 7 furlong specialist. Whether or not he handles here, we'll find out. But they're putting cheek pieces. The cheek pieces that they put on 3 starts ago, which has worked into 2 wins in a second, very much seemed to just help him focus a bit. And he likes to be prominently placed. So again, there's a few horses in here that might set this up into a really, really good run, and that might set it up for somebody at a big price, the likes of Should Have Been a Ring, who's again one of those almost nearly horses that at big prices tends to run into places and is a stone bonking closer. And if this all just goes in front, you might just have Ryan Moore, who's been booked by Richard Hannon, just in case anybody was looking at fun jockey bookings, might just go, fine, we'll just, I won, yay. But I mean, Should Have Been a Ring, great story, great horse, deserves one of these, and loves Newmarket and is a 7 furlong specialist.
Yeah, Ryan will get it right. That is for sure. I always say never second guess tactics when Ryan Moore's concerned, because you just know he'll get it right. I just want to talk about a couple of others, Martin. Start with Quinault, he's got better as the season's gone on, and he's been very good over 6 furlongs his last couple of starts, Newmarket and York.
Yeah, he's just such a progressive horse, but he's got to improve again over a different distance. So. Yeah, you couldn't rule him out with any certainty, but I just wonder whether he's got enough to find this improvement to win a race of this nature, a Group 2 at this level. But it's worth the roll of the dice. because he's just in great form and so progressive. So it's worth having a go. But just going back to Witness Stand there, he's top rated. He's 115 top rated with Noble Dynasty, and he's a progressive 3-year-old. And what we didn't see from that Goodwood VT was he was drawn out with stall 14. And he overcame that wide draw to get across, used so much energy to get there. He was given a great ride on the day, but he did well, and he was beaten by Quinault, who went and ran well in a big handicap next time, and he won a listed race by 3 lengths next time. So I think Witness Stand is probably the most unexposed horse in this field. He's rated 115. It wouldn't be a shock if he stepped up his form and won this.
Okay, so the progressive 3-year-old with
against the consistent Noble Dynasty, he's the yardstick. Okay. He's sets the standard. But I think Tom Clover's horse, he could well be the real unexposed progressive horse.
If we're going to get a dazzling, outstanding wow moment, it'll be Royal Scotsman that provides that. If there's going to be a
basically just splits
horse
the
that
field.
does something really special, it's going to be him, isn't it?
All or nothing, isn't it?
Well, he's the one that sort of has hinted that he does have that special bit of to throw in quality about him. Quality.
Would you have a play, Rachel, or not?
I should have been wearing stays that price, have a bit of a each way squeak on it.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough given the likely pace scenario in the challenge at Newmarket. Ken, the Fillies Mile is the Group 1 on the card on Friday. 7 have been declared. Sky Bet prices for you: Desert Flower 6-4, Dreamy, Tom Arcan's got the ride 4-1, January, Ryan Moore's riding, that's 4-1 as well, 6-1 Tabiti, Anna Swan is 7-1, Ballet Slippers is 11-1, and California Dreamer is 33-1. So Aidan O'Brien very well represented here. He's got the second and third favourites, Dreaming January, along with Ballet Slippers as well. Let's have a chat about Desert Flower, though. I mean, she's a filly who is unbeaten in her 3 starts, and she's been pretty impressive in all of them. Her latter win, which we can't look at for obvious reasons, was the Betfred Mayhill Stakes at Doncaster Group 2. But this is her, Rachel, at Newmarket prior to that, winning the Fillies Novice, and as she likes, really.
Yeah, I mean, she's been so impressive in all 3 of her starts, and obviously the 2 novices, fine, but it was the way then she just stepped straight into Group 2 level and actually made it seem like she was running in another novice, and there was some proper horses, as we know, in that particular race, and she just looks that she has all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. Yeah, she's never raced on the Rowley Mile, but 2 wins on the July course. I'm pretty sure that maybe Charlie Appleby has had a racecourse gallop or 2. But she just looks, of all the ones in here, from everything that I've seen so far of the fillies, there's 2 that look like they could be properly good fillies. She's one, and Dreamy is another in the for Aidan O'Brien. Really interesting for the Niarchos family, American Pharaoh out of Tapestry, that whole family. I mean, it's probably the only thing that would be better if it was a Justify as opposed to an American Pharaoh. But
yeah, here is Dreamy. I mean, this was her second start at the Carrot. She won on debut. To me, Martin, I felt when I'd seen this, I thought that she's a future Oaks filly. She just stayed on too strongly for her rivals through this race. She didn't really quicken. She just kept galloping and galloped them into submission. But the time was good, and she's unbeaten in 2. There's a lot to like about it, even though Ryan Moore chooses to ride January instead, we think.
Yeah, I know, that's flummoxed all of us, hasn't it, really? But yeah, she's one of those fillies, it's hard to assess her because she looked like she was going to get swallowed up, and then she goes again. You see here, Fiery Lucy comes up on the outside, and then she just keeps finding more, and she's winning with her ears pricked. And Fiery Lucy sets a good standard. She was second in a Group 3 next time.
And lucky as well.
Yeah. But this filly, you just don't know how to assess her. The only negative I would have is I wonder how she'll come down the dip at Newmarket. She's quite a tall, leggy filly, but she does her racing with her ears pricked, giving the impression she's got so much more there under the bonnet.
This is why I thought she was perhaps more of an Oaks than a Guineas.
Yeah, she levels out, but she does keep finding when she's challenged. But yeah, I've no doubt she will get further. But you just don't know how much untapped potential there is there. So yeah, it's an intriguing race.
Yeah, let's just go back to Desert Flower in the context of January, because January was second to Desert Flower in the Mayhill, Rach. And Ryan Moore, we think, has chosen January over Dreamy. And okay, she was beaten a length and a half in the Mayhill, but she was a bit keen that day, and she did run on quite strongly in the closing stages. You can see why Ryan quite likes her.
Yeah, definitely, because she's got a dip to come out of at Newmarket, which might give her that little bit of extra stamina kick up the hill. Ryan may have also chosen her because with the Niarchos family being the main ownership, I mean, I know Magna and Tabor, etc., have legs and pieces in Dreamy, but January is theirs. So
yeah.
It might be more of a case of stable jockey and the next available that's totally good enough in Tom Marquand. I mean, he also picked wrong when he in the May Hill. He picked the wrong one. January was the better of the two. Sean Levy got the nice paycheck for that day. So maybe it's a bit of, some of them are just closely matched, and particularly 2-year-old fillies this time of year. I mean, they can literally improve, or regress 10 pounds for no reason.
My out-of-the-box theory on that, on him riding January, is that they're having a little feeler for the 1,000 guineas. They're running her on this track, see how she handles it, see how she goes, and they probably think that Dreamy is perhaps a filly that's going to want a bit further. She's worthy of her place, but Ryan's having a feeler for the 1,000 guineas on January.
Well, let's be truthful. We could be here all night and still get it wrong on riding arrangements. It's
nice to speculate.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, they had 2 of the second strings won in France the weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
They had O'Brien's.
Yeah.
They're all good horses on their own right. I can't see how January is going to turn the form around with Desert Flower. So I don't know whether Ryan's decided to ride January because she's had more runs and she's tough. Maybe he thinks he can do something different. Dreamy, maybe they might agree with me and she might not come down the dip, or she might not. Who knows? But it's an intriguing race, but none of them will beat Tabiti anyway. Right,
Tabiti then. But over to you then, Dwyer.
Well, what's not to like about this
Salisbury win last time, having won at Newmarket.
Yes.
To that. This is the Dick Pool.
She won a newcomers race at Newmarket so impressively. She came into this race favourite. Juddmonte colours on the rail. She's beaten. 2 furlongs to run, she's beaten, she's come under pressure. The ground was very gluey and sticky. She's not enjoying it. She's not finding a turn of foot. Ross has given her a flick, and she's won through grit, determination and raw ability. The ground has slowed her down, but so much to like about this filly, straight up into group company, and she's ground it out and she's won workmanlike. But I think there's so much more to come. A lot depends on the ground. I think, I might be wrong, but I think I heard Rafe say he's on weather watch, and if it goes very soft, they might not run. But if the ground is good at Newmarket come Saturday, she wins.
Also, as we talked about an hour ago, there are 2 horses running in the Oh So Sharp that can frank her form going into that race if she
Miss Fascinator being one.
If she sticks her ground, yeah.
But she'd have beaten them a long way if the ground had been quick. So I think if the ground is good, I just think she's so impressive, this filly.
Yeah, she was good at Newmarket, wasn't she? When her debut, really good that day.
But to win like she did and you know, get stuck in like she did, she just showed real grit and determination. If it's good ground, she's got such a lovely action. When she won at Newmarket, I'm a big fan of Tabiti, as you can tell.
I can, yeah, yeah. She looks sure to go well, doesn't she? Is there anything else in the race you want to talk about? I mean, Aidan's got another runner, so he's treble-handed. He's got ballet slippers in here, and Wayne Lorden rides that one. We're not going to talk about why he rides that one. But ballet slippers travelled strongly, made just about all to win a 6-runner minor event at Ascot last time, Rachel.
Yeah, probably put in for pacemaker as a pacemaker if they.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of has the profile, and that's very rude in the context, but it's very weird for an Aidan horse to go 3 starts before breaking its maiden, and then actually only now in October making its first foray into patent company.
Yes, it was a strange one to go to Ascot to try and win that minor event to lose your...
I mean, I know they got a lot of horses and there's not that much racing in Ireland, but you know, fuel for the jet is expensive, as they know when they literally brought over all the horses and a starting gate for City of Troy's Southwell workout.
I don't think the fuel bill bothers them, does it?
Well, it doesn't if you win a $7 million race off the back of it, but if you don't, so.
Yeah. I'm going to get a quick word on Anna Swan for Sir Michael Stout. It'd be great if he could win a Group 1 before he finally retires.
Well, it'd be the fairy tale, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
I mean, what a career he's had as a trainer, master trainer. She's got a bit to find, hasn't she? But she's unbeaten in 2. It'd be great if she could do it.
And also,
Really
I mean,
would.
to keep Kempton relevant, that conditions race that she absolutely slaughtered last time at Newbury, the 4th Electrifier, well, just dotted up a little while ago, so form's ranked.
Yeah.
Albeit in low-level novices, but still, winners have come out of it.
So Dwyer, it's Tabiti, is it? Very strong.
Yeah, I think she's class.
Class. Rach?
Desert Flower.
Desert Flower. Yeah, she's looked really good, hasn't she? 3 wins thus far. And you've got those good Aidan O'Brien horses just to add to the mix. What a race that is. On Friday afternoon, 3:35, it'll be live with us.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.